Okay. So, here's the plan. Let's say these tissues are Mike, right? And this hat is 11, and this hand sanitizer represents a Demogorgon. And then this chapstick represents the Upside Down. This comb represents the bridge to the Upside Down. And this Zyrtec bottle for allergies, this is Vecna. So basically, we have Vecna. If we cross it with the bridge and we take Mike and 11 and they go over here, then we could create a portal that could be a distraction that could go right to the Upside Down, that could link a bridge to the connection, and therefore stopping Vecna, stopping the hive mind, and defeating the Upside Down once and for all. Any thoughts? And scene. Pretty much every scene in Stranger Things. You guys gotta let me know how I did there. Right? I mean, there's so many scenes where, like, you know, they like, it's like, okay, this is L. This is the Upside Down. This is Mike. This is 11. And if we cross, like, you know, where they're coming up with the plans, and then they like use like all these like random objects. Like literally right before this stream, I just like went and found a bunch of random objects. I'm like, okay, let's just do this. Like, why not? It'll be funny. And I literally just came up with all that on the spot. So, but yeah. But thank you all so much for joining. Welcome to Flip the Script. It's official, guys. This is the new channel name. Pretty crazy, right? And I see the comments. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. I'm so glad you guys like the name. I didn't want to give it away when I was first doing it, but I feel like I knew that you guys would like it, because if you're a Cobra Kai fan, of course, you know, Flip the Script comes from season 1, episode 6, Quiver with Hawk. You know, like, I'm flipping the script. And I don't remember how I came up with it. It was definitely really tricky to come up with a name, because I was like, what name can I pick that will capture everything? And like, when I came up with Flip the Script, because I was thinking, like, what if I do some, like, is there anything in Cobra Kai that I can do? Like, I don't know. And when I thought of Flip the Script, I was like, wait a second, this is perfect, because it is a reference to Cobra Kai, but it's also its own thing, where like, even if you've never seen Cobra Kai, you can still appreciate the name. And it's about doing different things, and about you know, just like making things different, and changing it up and taking chances. And that's what we're basically doing on this channel. We're flipping the script. And you know, I like to do a bunch of different things, so like, yeah, I like to continuously flip the script. You never know what's going to happen next. So yeah, I really I'm really happy with the change, and I really appreciate all of your guys' support with it. Like, it's been overwhelmingly positive. So thank you all so much. I really couldn't be more thankful. And I'm so glad to be here, to have all you guys here for this. Like, this is super exciting. I'm just gonna check if we're good to go, right? You could hear me all right. Well, I mean, I hope you could hear me. But I'm so excited to be here, to be live with my favorite people, you guys. So I'm just making sure we're good to go. And that's a link. And yeah, I think we should be good. So as you can see from the title, from the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things season 5. And, you know, on this channel, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. You know, it's going to be movies, TV, entertainment, pop culture. Like, we're just going to be talking about anything and everything. So like a lot of the current stuff. So one of the big things is Stranger Things. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the Cobra Kai fans, you know, if you've watched Cobra Kai, you're also a Stranger Things fan, because it's both Netflix. They're both kind of similar in some senses. So I definitely think this will be a fun discussion. I love Stranger Things. So personally, I have been watching Stranger Things since the beginning. I can't say I was always obsessed with Stranger Things because you guys know how I am with Cobra Kai. I absolutely love Cobra Kai. And when I saw Cobra Kai, it just like grabbed me right away. And I just like, I made a channel about it. I never made a Stranger Things channel. You know, Stranger Things never grabbed me in that same way. But I did always love the show. And there would be periods of time where I would like forget about the show and then I would rewatch it on Netflix and be like, dang, this is good. So just like coming back to it, I always like really loved it. And I think like over the last few years, I think when I really started to like be like, oh, this is sick was season 3. I remember I was watching that season, like I watched it like a week after it came out, because I wasn't like so eager to watch it. But I remember when I did watch it, I could not turn my TV off, and I literally stayed up all night watching the whole. I binged the whole thing. I stayed up all night. I that was not the plan, but that's what I did because I was just so into it. So yeah, it was really good. And then season 4, I I had mixed feelings on season 4. I actually didn't think season 4. I thought there were some things about season 4 I wasn't super crazy on. And then we had season 5, which the final season, I was definitely looking forward to it. And I have a lot of thoughts, and I know you guys do too. There's a lot to say with it. So we're going to get to all of it. So let's, this is okay, by the way, this is spoilers. This is a spoiler discussion on Stranger Things season 5, the finale, everything. So if you have not seen Stranger Things, turn away. You have been warned. But if you are here, comment your questions below. If you send a super chat, you're guaranteed an answer, but any comments are appreciated in general. And yeah, let me know what I want to hear. First off, I want to know what you guys thought about season 5 of Stranger Things and the finale. So let me know what you thought, or you could ask me a question. We could do it both ways. Like you could share a thought with me and I could like, kind of give you my thought on your thought, or I could, yeah. So, and happy New Year's too. Happy National Science Fiction Day. I did not know that today was National Science Fiction Day. That's pretty cool, but happy National Science Fiction. I did not even know that was a thing. That's awesome. I think I can put the comments here too. So if you want to drop a comment, you can see your comment. It's the other way. It's right here. Yeah. Selly999, thank you so much for joining, says, have you watched a trailer for Stranger Things Tales of 85, the animated cartoon coming out in 2026? I did watch that, and I'm excited for that. I think it'll be fun. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be the original series. Like, it's not the live action, but I think it'll be a fun little thing. Yeah, I'm not like super like, I can't wait for this, but I think it'll be cool. It's D Justin says, love the season, especially the part where everyone goes into the upside down to defeat Vecna. Yeah. This season they went into the upside down a lot. So that was pretty crazy. Like, there was a lot of times where they would just keep going in and like in season 1 and even in previous seasons, it was always like a thing to get into the upside down was always a thing. But this season, like people are going into the upside down left and right. It was the first time a lot of characters went into the upside down. The first time Mike technically went into the upside down other than the tunnels. Mr. Clark was in the freaking upside down. Vicky was in the upside down. Like it was pretty crazy to see like all those different characters. And I thought the Abyss was really freaking cool. Like it looked really cool. So that was awesome. DJ Club Rules, what is up? How did you feel about Steve almost falling to his death? Oh my God. And Ginger says Jonathan saved Netflix. No, you know what? He did. Um, I that part was crazy. I don't know. Did you guys see? First off, did you guys see it in the theaters? Um, did you guys see it in theaters or did you see it at home? Because I went to the theaters, so I got to watch it with a crowd, and I can tell you right now, that was the loudest scene. People were so loud during that scene with Steve almost falling to his death. It was crazy because I mean, obviously, like that's like the whole thing is like Steve can't die. Steve can't die. And I was doing interviews. I actually have a video up on the channel if you guys want to check it out. Where I, went to the Stranger Things finale in theaters and I gave my thoughts and I also did some interviews with fans. And basically, you know, I like everybody was saying Steve can't die. Steve can't die. I was like, what do you guys want to see this season? Or what do you guys want to see in the finale? And they're like, I just don't want Steve to die. That's what everyone was saying. The Duffer Brothers, when writing this part, they knew what they were doing with that Steve scene. They knew what they were doing. They knew they were gonna like freak out the fans and make them go crazy with this this possible Steve Harrington death. They knew everyone was gonna go nuts, and they did. And obviously he's hanging off the thing with one hand. Let's go, and cuts to black, like classic Stranger Things style. And I thought that was really awesome to have Jonathan save him. It was just like such a it was a cool moment, but it was so clearly written to for the fans, to freak out. It was so they made it so dramatic. And it's, out of anybody, they chose Steve. It just felt very like, we're doing this to you guys. We're gonna trick you. So yeah. Do you think Elle survived? I guess that's the big question, right? That's the big question. I don't know. What do you guys think? Can I put a poll? Maybe I could put a poll in the chat. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat, and we're gonna see if what you guys think. So, do you think Elle survived? I'm gonna put a poll, and then I'm gonna give my. Oh, wait. How do I put a poll? Oh, here we go. Okay. Start a poll. Okay. Do you think Elle survived? I want to know what you guys think first. Oh, okay. We already got votes coming in. All right. So go into the comments. There's a poll up there. Let's see. We have right now, 16 votes, 56% say yes, 44% say no. Okay, so we have more people. It's close, but we have more people saying yes than no. Okay, and I'll leave that poll up there. Okay, now oh my god, it's changing really quickly. 63% yes. 60% yes, 40% no. Okay. It's changing. Okay. So let's talk about it. Because I think that was the big thing of the finale. That was the big, I think there were a lot of questions and things to think about, but that was, I think, the biggest one. Because I was so confused when Mike was having those visions with the power sensors, at the graduation when the speaker, and he was kind of having this deja vu. I was like, what is going on? I did not understand that. But then they tied it all together, and I thought his theory was really interesting. Now, keep in mind, it's just a theory. I guess it's whatever you want to believe, the only thing is, Kali. Did Kali not really die? Because she got shot. She got shot. Would she have been able to survive that long and been able to project a vision of L across the whole upside down? Like, did they know they were gonna do this plan? Like, or yeah, I don't know. I'd like to believe Elle survived, but I guess it's just up to the audience perception, which is why I guess we all we all have different opinions. What do you guys think? Like, does it make I mean, it's a good theory from Mike, and it's like he says he chooses to believe, and we do see Elle. I mean, here's the thing, we do see the version. It's not just like Mike says it, like we see, like visually, we see Elle sneaking out, and then we see her at the waterfall. I mean, that could just be what Mike's vision is, but maybe we're seeing that and that's like actually real. Like, we don't know if that's real or not. And we might not ever know. Eric says she died. This is Mike's way of grieving. I tend to think that is true. I do think I do think that is true. I do think she is dead. But you could believe that she's alive, which is why it's a cool ending. I kind of like that. I feel like it's fun, Um Jim Tim, what's up, Jim Tim? Jim Tim says, what do you think of Derek? Oh my dude, Derek is the GOAT. Derek is great. And my whole theater was going nuts for him, especially when the moment when Derek or Vecna was chasing after Derek and Holly, and Vecna, he shot his arm out, and his giant arm branch thingy grabbed onto Holly's leg, and then Derek pulled her away and said, "Suck my fat one." Everyone was laughing and cheering. Everyone was going nuts. I think any scene with Derek, people were either cheering or laughing because they just everybody loves Derek. Derek is such a good character. And at the end, when he's, with Steve, oh my God, that was brilliant to have Steve and Derek, and Steve's a coach. Oh my God. There's so much to this finale. But yeah. Chosen Vader, thank you for being a member. Really appreciate that. And or sorry, not a member, a moderator. Sorry. Thank you for moderating the chat. What do you think of Henry Creel this season? That's a great question. Whew. Okay. I have mixed thoughts on him. I have very mixed thoughts, and this might be controversial. I don't know if everybody's going to agree with me on this. Most people might disagree with me. There are times where I really just do not like Vecna. I love villains. I love villains. Not let me rephrase that. I don't think villains are good people. I think villains are just interesting characters. So I really enjoy watching them, and I enjoy seeing their struggle and seeing why they are the way they are. And I just think they're very compelling if written well. Now, with Henry, there are times there were so many different versions of him. There was Vecna, Henry, Mr. What's It, all these different versions. And with him, especially with Vecna, I think there's certain times where he's really cool and badass, but then there's certain times where he's literally just it is time, Max. You will die. I don't know. It's there's a lot of his lines are very generic. I don't, he probably says it is time a million times. It's dude, okay, every time it's time. He's literally it is time, it is time, it is time. Or it's William, I am, or William. I don't know. or you will join me, or it will all be over soon. It will all be over. I don't know. He like the lines are kind of generic a lot of times with Vecna, and also the voice is very like generic monster voice. Like I feel like anybody could do that voice. You just turn on a voice modulator and you just do that. So I don't know. There are times where I'm like, ugh, not really. But then there are times where like he's like really cool. Like in season 5, episode 4, when he was freaking, do like at the Max Z, like freaking battling all the soldiers. I thought he was badass. And then like in the finale, I thought he was really good and entertaining. I thought he was great. But yeah, there are other times too where like even like Henry, I thought Jamie was really good as Henry in the finale. I thought he was really good in the finale. There are times though where I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm not super scared of him. I don't know. Especially like when he was like Mr. What's It. It was like I wasn't really that scared. I don't know. But I do think he was great in the finale. I do think he was really great in the finale. And I think overall he was great. But there were like, I don't know, with Vecna and Henry, I kind of have like a mixed feeling. Like even like I saw someone in the chat asked who's a better villain, Terry Silver or Vecna. It's Terry Silver by far. Vecna, I think could have been better than he was. Like I feel like Vecna had more, or Vecna like had the potential to be really good. For me personally, he was like all right. Like there are times where I'm like, oh my god, Vecna, like, and there are times I'm like, Vecna. I don't know. So I will say, when it comes to villains, that freaking Mind Flayer at the end, holy crap, that was insane. That Mind Flayer was terrifying. And seeing that in the theaters was epic. Like, I did not know that freaking tree, whatever, sanctuary that Henry was in, that was the Mind Flayer. Like, he was literally, like, putting energy into the Mind Flayer. You know what? I do have a question, guys. I do have a question. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this because I genuinely have no idea. How come it took 5 seasons to do this? Like, I'm sure someone on the internet, maybe one of you guys knows the answer. How come it took 5 seasons because Vecna literally got the kids in like 2 seconds, He literally got all his kids in 2 seconds. So why didn't he do this in season 1? Or season 2, or season 3, or season 4? Like, why did it take him so long to do this whole thing? Like, why didn't he just like do this earlier? That I don't really know. But yeah, Chosen Vader. I'm glad the Mind Flayer came back too. That was sick. And also it was cool because like there were theories out there that people had that the Mind Flayer is really in control of everything. And that ended up being true. Mind Flayer was controlling Vecna. Well, not really controlling Vecna, but the Mind Flayer was the one behind all this. But Vecna was like working with it, Yeah, for a second I was like, wait a second, are they about to redeem Henry and because that would have been pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that would have been pretty freaking cool. Like, I don't think he deserved that redemption. I mean, because he like brutally murdered so many people. And he did so much bad crap to everybody. Like, I don't think he deserved that redemption. So I'm glad they didn't give it to him. But I will say it was kind of cool. Like, thinking that there was a possibility that Vecna might team up with L and the gang to take down the mind flayer. I don't know. Did any of you think that was going to happen? What do you guys think? All right, let's see. What's up, Garrett? Garrett says that epilogue was so very emotional, but it was a great, satisfying ending. Yeah, I agree. It was very sad. Um, I, you know, what I love about Stranger Things, is I first off, I love the runtime. I love how they have these long episodes because I like to sit with the characters. Um, basically we had oh, what's up, Raging Roman Mystic? What's up? Um, yeah, I think like because when they defeat Vecna and the Mind Flayer, we're about an hour into the movie. Or yeah, or the episode, whatever you want to call it. I call it a movie since I saw it in theaters. But then we still have like a whole nother hour. And then like, I guess that part is like, them destroying the Upside Down, but then it's like 40 minutes of epilogue. And I really enjoyed that because I really, I appreciated like, the Duffer Brothers and, they weren't just like, okay, we defeated the Upside Down, let's go. Because that's not what matters. I mean, yes, that's what matters, but like at the end of the day, what we really care about are the characters. That's who we're invested in. So like they wanted to wrap up all the storylines. And I genuinely think they did a really good job of wrapping up everybody's storylines. I do have, I know I've seen a lot of mixed feelings about the finale and about season 5. And I do have certain thoughts as to like, okay, this part maybe wasn't super great or this part could have been better. But overall, I had a really great time watching it, despite like those things. Like there are things about it that maybe weren't the best. But that's like if you really dive deep into it. But overall, just like as a fan watching it, and in terms of how they wrapped it all up, like that final episode, I think they did a really good job of wrapping it all up. And I thought the ending was like gave conclusions to all of the characters in a really good way. So yeah. I will say I'm surprised though that like, everybody was commenting, this person's gonna die, this person's gonna die, this person's gonna die in volume 1, this person's gonna die in volume 2, this person will die in the finale. Like nobody really died. The only people that died were Elle, maybe, Kali, Vecna, Mind Flayer, of course, and that was it. Like none of our main cast died. Like a lot of people thought like Murray would die, or maybe Hopper, or Steve, or Dustin, or Nancy, or Jonathan. Nobody died. Which I will say this. Here's what I will say. I will give a little complaint about the show. I think Stranger Things does too many fake out deaths. Too many fake out deaths that I think it loses its impact. I don't think there's a problem with fake out deaths, but when you're going to do it all the time, it lowers the stakes and it feels like everybody's safe. Like at the very end, I wasn't really concerned about Elle because they had already done so many fake out deaths with all these other characters and with Elle and whatever, they had Elle get shot. I thought that was it for her. I thought, oh my God, they're killing her off right now. What the frick? But then, so they do all these fake outs that like when they first do it, it's like, oh my God. And then you find out she's alive. Okay, she's alive. Then they do it again. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to get fooled twice, like, or it's like, I don't know. So that's just me personally. Even like Jonathan and Nancy, when they were the only fake out death that like, good job for not actually going through with it was Steve. They should have never gone through with it. I'm glad they didn't. Like when Jonathan and Nancy were talking in the room in episode 7, I think it was, before like, you know, they were about to get like buried alive in Hawkins' lab with the goo stuff dripping down. I thought they were goners, and I thought it was a very emotional scene, and I was like, oh, they're not. So then it's like, I don't know, it's just like there's so many of those moments, so many fake out deaths. Which, yeah, I think for everybody it's different, but yeah. Linda Hamilton was good. She looked like Brenner's sister. You know what? I actually thought she was good in the finale, but I wasn't really a fan of her in any of the other episodes, if I'm being honest. I thought she was like very generic, and not super intimidating. I don't know. I thought the finale she was good, but like before that, I just wasn't like super. Like Brenner was good because Brenner was creepy as heck. Like, you know, and Brenner was subtle. But yeah, I thought Linda was okay. I thought she was okay. I mean, she's a great actress. I just mean the character. What's her Dr. K? Dr. K. She was good, but the character, yeah. Saw this in theaters. It was packed like a Marvel event. Yeah. I know. Same here. It was packed. It was crazy. Jeremy says congrats and best wishes on the new branding. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Jeremy. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you, buddy. Production Rex says, I liked Will telling everyone that he was gay. When you came out, when I came out, my family basically did not care. They did not be like, it is okay and we still love you. None of that. Only my friends did that. Family basically. They did say, wait, like they didn't care. They like were accepting. I hope that's what you mean. I hope they were accepting. Is that what you mean by that? Production Rex says I worded that so bad. Yeah, if you wanna yeah, just yeah. I think they brought the mind flayer in too late. Like they're chilling in the abyss, then out of nowhere they're being chased by a giant spider monster and kill it in 5 minutes. Yeah, you know what? I've seen a lot of people say that too. Also another thing, where were the Demogorgons? Where were the Demogorgons? Now, the Duffer Brothers put out this thing. Actually, like they actually discussed it. Someone asked where the Duffers talk Demogorgons. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So the Duffer Brothers explain why there were no Demogorgons in the Stranger Things finale. Okay, and this is what they said. Mainly, it's just that Vecna was not expecting this sneak attack on his home turf. Never in a million years could he even imagine that. They're there somewhere. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Because Vecna knew, like, Vecna entered Hopper's mind. He entered Eleven's mind. He knew what was going on. Like, he knew, like, they were all, like, trying to, like, he knows that they're trying to kill him. You would think he would have some freaking protection around the place. You would think he would have some Demogorgons there to protect the place or whatever. And I also thought it was just kind of weird to not have Demogorgons in the Stranger Things finale, because that's such a big part of Stranger Things, and they're like literally in the whole entire show. And for them not be in the finale is kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not the biggest thing. But yeah, you know, when watching, I really enjoyed the spider monster mind flayer scene, But then, yes, I've seen people say, you know, it's very quick. And then like looking back, I will say, you know, it is a little quick. They do kind of just take him out. Um, I mean, I thought it was still cool. I thought it was still cool. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Um, wait. Um, oh my God. Let's talk about this because I agree. Unknown, the legend. I agree with this. I thought the Henry backstory stuff was awful. Thought it was awful. Just like, I mean, it was cool to see like I was so like, here's the thing. I was into it. I was like into it. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't think the backstory was awful. I think we just didn't get enough of it. Like, I think they did an awful job of like explaining things to us. Like, you know, when we were like in the school and seeing like, you know, he was in this play, I'm like, are we gonna like find stuff out about this guy? But we didn't really find anything out about him. You know, he went into the cave. That was how he got his powers. He just like, I don't know, like someone shot his hand. He didn't even react when he got shot in the hand. He got shot in the hand. I was like, does he have powers at that point? Like, you know, and he like, why would he brutally beat that guy with the rock? I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of felt like I didn't really understand. I don't know. I wasn't really huge on that. And apparently there's this whole play. Oh, yeah. King DJ, I see your comment. It's all explained in the first Shadow stage play. Yes. I see the comments about the play. But yes, exactly. Not everyone watched the play. Not everyone watched the play. The play is in London, you know? And I think it's like, I really hate when TV shows and movies do that, when there's like critical information, because I do think that is critical information. I think they just assume that people knew the play. Like the stuff with the caves, I don't know. It's just like a lot of it was like, what the frick? The school play, Hopper and Joyce all going to school with Vecna. Like, what the frick? Like, what, they did not go into any of this. It was just very random, but it's like, oh, but they dive into this in the play. It wasn't like, you know, what it would have been okay if like they went into it a bit and you understood it and you got it. But then if you want some more clarification, you watch the play. But to not understand any of it and then watch the play to figure out everything, that's really not fair. You know, like you would think that a big show like Stranger Things, like wouldn't do like, especially like with the final season, you know, I mean, it would be one thing if it was like the play was Mr. Clark's backstory, you know, it's like, okay, we don't really need to know that. But to have Vecna's backstory not explained in the show, but in the play, I feel like is crazy wild. And you know what? Do the play. That's great. But explain it in the show too for the people who haven't seen the play. Because I haven't seen the play. I probably won't because I'm not in London. And 99% of the Stranger Things fandom will probably never see the play, you know? I just think it's insane. So yeah. Another question I have for you guys, because I see Jeremy mentioning the gap between Stranger Things season 4 and 5. What do you guys think about that gap and how? Because I will say this. I enjoyed the season. But I will say a big part of me was really excited. I think like a lot of me was really, really excited after season 4 when, yeah, Ginger, they could have released the play on Netflix. Oh my God. Yeah, literally. So wait, what was I saying? After season 4, the end of season 4, which is the coolest ending in Stranger Things. Because every season of Stranger Things ends like with a happy ending, kind of, right? Yeah. Every season of Stranger Things kind of ends with a happy ending, I believe. Except season 4 ends with like the darkest ending where Vecna wins and Hawkins literally gets split up into 4. So, you know, I when they had that final shot of the dust particles of the Upside Down, and the Stranger Things theme playing, and like Elle, staring ahead, and Mike and Hopper, like they're all staring at like this mess. The Upside Down has come into Hawkins. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. Like, this is it. This is like the final season is gonna be epic. Now everything's together. And then when we start the new season, the military just put like these like band-aids over it. They just put these giant metal things and covered up the gaps like it's nothing. And I get like there's still like those certain passages into the Upside Down, like, through the library or whatever. But like, I wanted to know like what happened right away, right after season 4, after the Upside Down, and also like, why did it take so long for Vecna to get Holly? Wasn't that like season 4 and 5? There's such a big gap. I mean, I guess he needed to refuel or recharge or whatever, but like, did it really need to take that long? It was just like, I don't know. I kind of wanted to see right after Hawkins, and it's like, everybody now knows, like everybody's seeing these cracks in the ground. These like, it's not an earthquake. There's freaking orange goo and Upside Down stuff everywhere, But yeah, I don't know. It's just my thought. Kimmo, what's up, Kimmo? Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Drew, love the content and the big announcement vibe. I run a movie, TV, nostalgia YouTube channel, and I love to know if you ever be open to collaboration sometime. Much respect. Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, it'd be fun. What kind of stuff do you do? What kind of movies, TV do you talk about? My question is, what on earth happened to those giant Upside Down smoke clouds from the literal final shot of season 4? Yeah. And then also, what happened to the bats? What happened to the bats? The demo bats that killed Eddie and then just disappeared. Is Kai Hards going to be happening? Kai Hards is going to be happening. Kai Hards is coming out this year. No date yet. No exact date yet, but it will be coming out this year. So very excited. Yeah. Dr. K got sidelined for volume 3. I do agree with that. I wanted a little bit more on Owen's whereabouts. Yeah, Owen survived. Like, Owen's alive. So where's Owen? Yeah, exactly. I agree. Hey, we get our first super chat on Flip the Script, and it comes from Quicksilver81. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate you. And thank you for being a member too. I just started new membership tiers. So if you guys want to become a member, you could join now. So I appreciate that. Quicksilver, you are oh, and Sarah's a member too. Thank you, Sarah. Really appreciate you guys for being members. And yeah, thank you. Okay. Quicksilver 81 says, how did Mrs. Wheeler get down to the laundry and put the oxygen tank in the dryer so fast without being sensed by the demo dogs? Yeah, okay. Listen. There are certain things, like sometimes you just gotta like watch the show and just be like, cool. You just gotta be like, cool. The fact that like any main character goes up against the Demogorgon and like just gets a little like cut on the arm or the chest, and then like they get hurt but they survive. But keep in mind, like pretty much everybody else dies. Like all the military people, their whole face gets eaten off, but and like they have guns and they're able to take them down easily. But then like, when it comes to like Mrs. Wheeler, she has like a little bottle, and and Ted got his stomach, I don't know, but they all survived. So we just gotta like kind of go with that. I don't know. How did she get down to the laundry and put, I don't know. It was a badass moment. It was like, it was kind of like, how did she like know to do that? I don't know. I guess she's just a smart woman. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think the writers just wanted to give her an awesome moment. Um, I thought it was nice though. I thought it was cool. Um, no, no, Quicksilver, you're not overthinking. It's valid questions. It's valid questions. I don't ever want to say like, oh, you're thinking too much about it, or like it's it's a show where there's like we analyze it and like we want it to feel real and good. Um, but I just don't know if this has like a solid, valid explanation. This is the answer. She's Spider-Man. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what? That's it. She's Spider-Man. That's it. Um, that's it. That's it. Um, Rosie Girl says, I feel like they try to use nostalgia to make it more emotional in the finale with the flashbacks. Oh, 100%. Like, not even a question. I completely agree. Yeah, especially like when you know where I thought it was a really great moment with flashbacks. I thought when Joyce was chopping off the head of Vecna, and then we got all those flashbacks to like everybody, who unfortunately died because of Vecna and the Mind Flayer. Like we would get a close up of Dustin, and then like he's thinking about Eddie. It's like this is for Eddie. Like we get a shot of Max, and it's like she's thinking about how like what Vecna did to her. So it's like everybody's like, this is it. Like you deserve this, Vecna. So I thought that was a really good I thought that was a really good moment, and I thought Joyce being the one to finish off Vecna was really, really cool. Okay. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep chatting for a little bit more. But before we do, let's take a little break to check out a word from our sponsor, VeVe. If you love movies, TV, and fandom culture, you've got to check out VeVe. VeVe is the ultimate digital collectibles app where you can buy, trade, and sell official collectibles from Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, and more. Whether you're starting your first collection or leveling up, VeVe makes collecting fun, social, and futuristic. All you gotta do is click the link right here or the link in the description below, and with every purchase, you're helping to support the channel. So thank you so much, and let's get back to it. So there you go. If you want to check out VeVe, there it is. A lot of unanswered questions. Yeah, there were some. There were definitely some. Yeah, what do you guys think? Can we all agree that Max and Lucas are the best couple? They were so good. Oh my god, I'm getting emotional. That scene in episode 7 when Max wakes up and Lucas and her are like both crying, and like, oh my god, the acting was so good. Caleb did such a good job there. Sadie Sink is an incredible actress. I thought that part was so emotional. Okay. Let's see. This is an interesting one. Okay. I think Elle's death was fake. No nosebleed after the combo with Mike Void. How did Mike get into the void? I don't get it. Like, can someone explain that to me? Because I genuinely have no idea. How did Mike get into the void? How did Elle get into the void? Doesn't she need to like go into a bath or something? She wasn't affected by the hedgehogs. The hedgehogs? What do you mean the hedgehogs? Her missing 11 tattoo. Was her tattoo missing? Elle getting to the gate unnoticed was impossible. That is, you know what? Her getting to the gate was impossible, but also, how would she have gotten to how'd she literally all the military was right there. And so I went back and I watched that scene, and I was like looking at Elle specifically to see like, where did she go? and she came out of the truck, like, and they, they all had guns and whatever, and we're surrounding them, and then she just disappears. It's like, how could she have gotten there? How could she have escaped? Oh, the hedgehogs are the machines that interrupted Elle's power. Oh, got you. Yeah, so you know what? Those are good points, though. Those are good points, and that could mean that she's alive. I think the Duffers want us to, up to our interpretation. Who is your favorite character? Steve Harrington, baby, and Dustin. I mean, look, I think Dustin had a good arc this season. I wouldn't say like I necessarily liked Dustin this season. I didn't really, especially when he was like being like so rude to Steve. I get that was part of his arc and his story. I just wasn't like, wow, I really like Dustin this season. Like, I was just like, oh man, that sucks. But Steve is awesome. Steve has always been awesome. I would say Steve and Derek. I like Joyce. I like Lucas. Will. Yeah. Mr. Mantra says Caleb, Sadie, Nell, and Jamie, Lucas, Max, Holly, and Vecna were the best actors this season. I agree that they were incredible. You know what? I would probably agree with that. I think shout out to Holly. Shout out what's her name? Nell? Yeah, shout out to Nell. Oh my God. I don't know how old that girl is. 13, 14 or something, maybe even younger. I'm not sure. But she was really freaking good. And also she's British in real life. Like, are you kidding me? You have this girl who's 14 in real life, who has who speaks British, but like who has a British accent, but then like can talk like with an American accent, like in the flip of a switch. Like, that's insane. Like, that's not easy, especially like for a young person to do. Shout out to her. She was really good. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Heath Moore says, what was your favorite scene from the finale? Great question. Favorite scene from the finale? Probably. You know what? It was probably when Elle and the Mind Flayer were facing off. Even though like Elle kind of just like jumped into the Mind Flayer to fight Vecna. I just like that the moment where Elle was having the standoff with the Mind Flayer and they were just like staring at each other and then like running at each other. I thought that was sick. That was probably my favorite moment. Visually it looked incredible. I also liked when Steve became a baseball coach. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I know I did like that moment, but it wasn't my favorite moment of the finale. What other moments from the finale? When they were graduating, I like Dustin's speech. I don't know. I thought the action was dope. I thought the Mind Flayer was really sick. I thought them taking on the Mind Flayer was just really cool. Yeah. Oh, and when Will took control of Vecna, that was dope. When Vecna was trying to like grab Elle, and then Will's like, I thought that was sick. I thought that was really cool. Juan says, in my opinion, this was a good season finale, but not the ideal show finale. They could have perfectly set up a spinoff with the younger kids at the end playing D&D. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I kind of disagree. I get what you're saying. And as much as I love the show and would want to see more, I think this was the way to end it, you know? And I think they did kind of set up like now these kids are kind of like the next crew and they're going to have these adventures of their own. It might not be like the Upside Down and Vecna and whatever, but you know, they're going to have their little gang and do their adventures, you know, kind of like Mike, Will, and Lucas, Dustin. But I don't think I think like it was good to end the show, you know. I don't think we need to know like, you know, I don't think we need another season. I don't think, you know, I mean, the one thing I will say, like, it would be kind of cool if like we found out like if Elle was really alive, but I don't know if we ever will. Get it? I don't know if we ever will. No, sorry. I don't know. I don't know. I'm satisfied with it. Like sometimes I feel like you just got to let it be. They were talking about the Duffers have said they're going to do a spinoff on Stranger Things that's like, you know, in a different decade, different characters, has nothing to do with the Upside Down. And it's like, well, what is it then? What, like, if you're not going to, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. That doesn't really excite me because it's like you're doing a spin-off on Stranger Things, but it's not Stranger Things. Like it has nothing to do with Upside Down. It has nothing to do with our characters. Like, you know, I'm like, it's in a different decade. I don't really know. But you know, maybe it'll be good. It's crazy how far the cast has come now. We see them in other projects like Marvel with Sadie now set to play a character in the new Spider-Man movie. Yeah. No, that's pretty insane. And you know who's been doing really good? Finn. Finn was doing really good. With, you know, Ghostbusters, he's been thriving for sure. Thoughts on the rooftop scene? Oh, with Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, and Robin. So I like that scene. I think a lot of people were like, I saw a lot of people joking, like, it's funny because it's only been 18 months. Steve's like in his early 20s and he's like wearing a suit. You know, Nancy cut her hair. It's like everybody's like had these like drastic changes, but it's like, you know, they've been through a lot and, you know, now they're like finally able to move on with their lives. So they're probably just changing it up. But, you know, I saw a lot of people saying to like Vicky, what happened to Vicky? And I agree. I'm like, it would have been nice to get like one sentence. Where did Vicky go? Even Dustin and Susie, you know, at the end, like the girl, like, you know, invites Dustin to the party. Like, yeah, what happened to Susie? I mean, like we thought they were still together, but I guess not. And I get their kids or whatever, but it's like, you know, when you set something up in a show, like obviously in life, not everything lasts forever, you know, and it's believable that Dustin and Susie would break up, but it was, I remember watching that moment. A lot of theater was like, what about Susie? What about Susie? Because they never explained it. But my thoughts on the rooftop scene, I really liked that scene. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was nice to see like where they all are now, you know. I like that they said, you know, they'll meet up every month. Like, you know, that was the squad. And I love how they're all good friends. And I will say I didn't like when Jonathan was saying to Steve earlier, you know, I don't like you. I don't like you. You know, it's like, dude, what the frick? Steve never did anything to you. Relax yourself, buddy. You know, Steve's a good guy. Why are you being like that? But then, like, you know, in this scene, like, you know, Jonathan's putting his arm around Steve and they're buddies. So, like, obviously they've come around from that. And, you know, honestly, it's like nice to see like Jonathan and Nancy as friends. And, you know, maybe down the line they do rekindle the relationship, you know. At first I was like, really? They're gonna break up? But now I'm like, okay, you know, they're all still really good friends and they care about each other. And you know, maybe it just wasn't the right time. And they're still all so young. So they're probably just exploring life and whatever, you know. Yeah, Argyle drove the crew to Hawkins and had to drive back on his own. Yeah, I mean, I never really understood the hate for him. I can't necessarily say I loved his character. I thought he was a great character, but I didn't like think he was terrible. Um, I don't know. I do think wait, didn't Steve make fun of Will's death in season 1? Okay. Well, season 1 Steve was kind of, you know. Okay, we're talking Steven season 2 and on. Steve was good. Even season 1, Jonathan was just like, messing around with Nancy, taking photos of them. So like, Jonathan was kind of like, whatever. Um, but yeah. The spinoff has something to do with the rock that Henry found in the briefcase. That's cool. I mean, I wonder, like, will it tie in? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know where they're gonna go with it. But hey, Drew, have you checked out any of the Stranger Things books? They expand more on the characters. No, I've not. But which books would you recommend? Yeah, I agree. My favorite scene was the Mind Flayer too. I thought that was awesome. Aiden says, "Oh my God, Aiden! I see you with the Fierro profile picture. Hell yeah, I'm a big fan of Wicked, so shout out." My favorite season. That's a great question. So okay, so for the longest time, my favorite season was season 3. Right? I remember I just like I thought it was so fun, and I still do think it's fun. I remember I watched it, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Like I couldn't stop watching. I was so into it. It was so fun. The Scoops Troop, like the summer vibes. I just really loved it. Um, I think that was like when I really, really got into Stranger Things. However, in recent years, or maybe this last year, I rewatched all of it. And I remember like seeing some comments like season 3 is very, very tonally different than seasons 1 and 2. I was like, okay, well, I still enjoyed season 3. And then I did this rewatch where I rewatched seasons 1, 2, 3, 4. I watched season 1, which was phenomenal. I watched season 2, which was really great. And in season 3, I felt that. I felt what people were saying. I was like, this is a really fun season. It's probably the most fun season, but it was very like cartoonish and over the top, especially like you with like, the Russians and like, the 4 kids breaking into the secret Russian base and having like and then like the yeah, it did like I think even though I love that part and with some of the jokes too, and then even the never-ending story at the end, even though that was really cool, and I mean it was a fun moment. It was fun, but it did take away from like the serious tone of Stranger Things. Like season 1 or 2 would have never done that. Would have never had Dustin singing never-ending story while they're being chased by the freaking mind flayer thing. Um, so I do like, I did kind of change my mind about season 3 a bit. Like I still like it, and season 4, I remember when I watched it, there were parts of it I really liked, and then there were parts of it I didn't really like. Like the finale, I wasn't a huge fan of season 4. I just thought like, it was a little like underwhelming. I don't know. I felt a little underwhelmed. I don't know. Yeah, season 4 I'm mixed on. Okay, if I had to rank the seasons, let's do that. If I had to rank the seasons, I would go number 1, my favorite season would be season 1. My second favorite season would probably be season Oof. Ah, this is a tough one. Okay, I'm gonna go season 1. Then I'm gonna go season 5. Let's go season 1. No. I don't know, man. I only have season 1 and my number 1. Ah, okay. Season 1 is number 1. I rewatching it recently. Season 1's really freaking good. I'm gonna put season 4 last. I'm gonna go 1, 2. No. Yeah. 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. Maybe 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. That's my order. Okay, I see your guys' orders. Yeah, keep commenting them down below. We have 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. Wow. Wait. 4, 1, 3, 2, 5. Wow, a lot of you guys have season 5 like low. I mean, I guess I did put mine at season 5 at 3. What did you guys think of season 5 like as a whole? Did I ever end that poll? All right, I'm gonna put a new thing in the chat. I want to see like what everybody would like grade season 5. It's funny. I just pulled up YouTube and I see a video. Stranger Things season 5 is a letdown. You know, I've tried to stay away from those videos because I wanted to like have my own fresh thoughts on it. By the way, the poll, we ended up with 74 votes, 66% saying yes, Elle survived, 34% saying no, she didn't survive. So, let's put in a new Q&A. Oh, wait, not Q&A. Wait, what are we doing? A poll? Should we do a poll? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're doing a poll. Okay. What would you grade the Stranger Things finale? Should we say the finale or the final season? Let's say finale. Like everything. We'll do A, B, C, or F. we're just gonna skip. Okay. Actually, I'll do C, D. All right. So what would you grade the Stranger Things finale? So A being like the best. Is this the final season overall? That's a great question. Okay, wait, you know what? I'm changing the poll. I deleted the poll. I'm changing the poll. What would you grade the final? We'll do the final season. Okay. What would you or I'll say okay, all right. How would you rank the final season of Stranger Things? Okay, there we go. We're gonna say 4 best, 3, 2, 1. All right. So how would you rank? Okay, the poll is up. So please go give it a vote. How would you rank the final season of Stranger Things with 4 being the best? Absolutely, it's amazing. 3 being a little bit lower, 2 being a little bit lower than that, and then 1 being it was awful. All right. So far, 3 is really blowing up. Okay, at least there's no 1s for now. All right, so we have 67%, 60% say 3, 25% say 4, about 12% say 2, 6% says 1. Okay. That's fair. I'll probably give it a 3 too. Because I don't think it's like, I think there's problems. I think there are definitely problems, but I don't think it's like horrible. And I don't think it's the best, but I still think it's good. So yeah. Is my screen blurry? Is my screen coming off blurry in this stream? Why is it doing that? I just opened another link and it looked like my screen was blurry. Wait, let me check YouTube on my phone. Hopefully it's not. But I think it is. Oh, it's clear? Oh, good. All right. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, wait. No, I'm on my phone and it looks clear. Hey, nice. Nice. There we go. Shout out Josh. Shout out Josh. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad it's clear. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I would give it 3. Drew, did you really think Hopper died in season 4? You mean in season 3? Yeah. In season 3, yeah, I thought he was dead. But then, and now at this point, you can't believe anybody's dead. Volume 1 was good. Volume 2 was good for the first 2 episodes. And episode 7 made it okay. The finale was perfect. Dude, I love the finale. And you know what? It's really sad that that episode 7 got such low ratings and like people like didn't like it. It's sad because the episode before the finale should be amazing. Like the episode before the series finale should be insane. It's like the big setup. This is what it's all leading to. And I think, you know, a lot of people were not big on episode 7 because of that Will scene, which you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with having the scene of him coming out, but I think it was the execution of that scene which people had an issue with. You know, it's funny because he was talking so much about the secret that he had, you know, like, guys, I have this really big secret. I have this really big secret. And, you know, for the longest time, like, we're all like, we all kind of knew he was gay, but it got to the point where he was like, guys, I need to tell you something. And I think all of you need to hear this. It kind of like, in a way, I was like, wait a second, are we about to get like a twist? Because like the obvious thing that he's going to say is like, yeah, I'm gay, you know, but I was like, is he going to say something different? Is he going to like give us like a twist that we didn't know? But then it ended up being that. Someone said I look like Dustin. Thank you. I never got that before, but I don't think I have the hair though. But you know, I think where I felt like maybe the scene was like, I think him like opening up to everybody kind of felt a little impersonal. You know, I think it would have been better if it was like to like Joyce and Mike, you know, or Joyce, Mike, and Dustin and Lucas, you know, just like keep it small, keep it a small group. You know, I felt like doing it in front of like Murray and, you know, all these people that he like these other people that he didn't really know super well. I don't know. It just like, it was like, I don't know. And like, you know, the world's about to like end and like, you know, it just felt very like, you know, and I don't think like everybody was surprised by this. Like, I think like everybody kind of knew. So it was like, I don't know. I think the scene would have worked better if it was a more intimate scene. So, but I will say, Noah did a phenomenal job in that scene. He was really, really good. He was so good. His acting performance was incredible. You know what I will say, you know, probably my favorite scene from the season. One of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite moments from the whole final season was when Will does like this thing, like turns Vecna's head to face Max and says, Max, if you can hear me, you need to run. Like the fact that Will was communicating through Vecna, I thought that was dope. I thought that was so cool. I probably watched that part like 10 times. Yeah. Lucasio in the chat. Yeah, I've watched that part so many times. I thought that part was so cool. Like I think like Will using his powers every time was cool, but that part in particular when he like turns his head, Max, if you can hear me, you need to run. That would be cool. That was awesome. That was awesome. I think it might have been better if it was Will, Joyce, Hopper, Jonathan, Dustin, Lucas, Mike, Max, L. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Keep it like a small group. I think there was too many people there. I agree. I agree. There was too many people. Like, why did Murray have to be there for that? You know, I don't know. I know I keep mentioning Murray, but like literally, what relationship does Will have with Murray? You know, I don't know. It's just like the hate for episode 7 is freaking ridiculous. Was it great? No, but it was still a good episode. Yeah, I agree. It wasn't like, I mean, I don't know what was it just that one scene that people had a problem with? I don't know. Callie didn't give a AF that Will likes boys. Yeah, Callie doesn't even know Will. Yeah, Callie was there. She doesn't even know Will, you know? I'm surprised that you got season 4 so low since that's my favorite season. I love the horror vibes. Yeah, a lot of people say that season 4 is their favorite. By the way, I like your image that you got here of Vecna. Yeah, I don't know. There were parts of it that I just felt like, I don't know. I felt like more of episode 7 should have been going after Vecna sooner. Can I be honest with you guys? I don't even remember what happened in episode 7. I don't even remember. They went to the upside down to, was episode 7 like, episode 7 was like the plan. Yeah, episode 7 kind of felt like very slow. It was good. It was good. But it wasn't like, yeah, they did kind of save it all for the final episode. You know, they literally had them just enter the upside down like in the final of 7. You know, like 7 was like, you know, like let's give a tour to Max and the facility. Let's you know, find Mr. Clark, and you know, like they kind of took their time with it. So I thought it was okay. I thought maybe it could have been better. But yeah, but I mean, I was fine with it. I didn't think it was like crazy bad. Ending was good. It was just they didn't answer all the questions. It felt rushed. I will say, like, yeah, I mean, there were a lot of like, it's funny with this show. The show does a lot of like, if my theory's right, this should happen. And it's like, if your theory's wrong, you're all screwed. Like, you know, like, you know, the plan to go onto the tower, you know, like literally if L doesn't, you know, do that, if L doesn't like stop Vecna in the nick of time, like they all die, you know, because the crack of the upside down with the abyss had to line up perfectly with the tower, else it would like all crumble, you know. Dustin's theory about like the matter, exotic matter or whatever. It's like, yeah, there's like a lot of theories. It's like if you know, there's a lot of theories and a lot of plans like, oh, this has got to work, and like, you know, we got to do this, and like usually most of the time everybody's just right. And yeah, sometimes it's like it's sometimes it can be confusing. Like sometimes they're like like, oh, I understand it all, and then they like, it's like so much exposition dumping, and it's like, whoa. Oh, if they did their plan episode 7 and they reveal the mind flayer to set up the finale, that would have been cool. That would have been cool. I'm trying to think. I don't know, part of me liked the surprise of the Mind Flayer in the finale, but, I don't. There was too much explaining this season. I agree. There was a lot of explaining. It was very, like, there was a lot of, like, yeah, there was just a lot of explaining in general. I think, you know what? Maybe making the Mind Flayer, like, here's the thing with the Mind Flayer, though. I mean, I guess, like, I enjoyed it. I can't say they needed a longer boss fight time. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Like, listen, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what we got. I enjoyed what we got. Get it, Joyce? Anyway, I enjoyed what we got. But I do think like, sorry, I'm just trying to think right now. I get what you guys are saying about how, like, you could have had him in it more. And I don't disagree. Like, I think that would have been really cool. And I think, it's hard to know because we didn't see it. We only saw what we got. Maybe the finale, maybe the final season would have been like 1,000 times better if you set up the Mind Flayer earlier and, like, actually showed that freaking monster. That probably would have been really cool, actually. Like, show that Mind Flayer in the Upside Down, show it causing havoc, maybe show it get into Earth and, like, doing, like, crazy stuff. I don't know. Like, I do agree he was kind of taken out very quickly, and he's kind of he didn't really get anything done. He didn't kill Mind Flayer, didn't kill anybody. Is big, giant, massive threat kind of did nothing. Kind of just looked really scary. Yeah, maybe they could have, like, dude, you know what though? I will say this. Yeah, like, the end of episode 7 was kind of like, it was like Vecna just starting his plan or whatever. But I will say this. If they had ended episode 7 with the Mind Flayer and made that, like, the whole, like, I think maybe that would have been better. Is having episode 7 end with, dude, wait, who said that idea? Who said that? Wait, who said that idea? Having I cannot wait. Oh, it was Chosen Vader. Chosen Vader, shout out. They did their plan in episode 7. Oh, bro, that would have been so cool. Imagine the last shot of episode 7 is the Mind Flayer. Dude, that would have been so hype going to the finale, because going to the finale was like, just like, they're driving their truck to the Upside Down, and then Vecna is just sitting around the table with the kids. I don't know. But dude, oh my God. That would have been so cool. Especially if the Mind Flayer was behind all of it. And then it's like, then you, like, have the Mind Flayer there for like an hour before getting killed. But I guess, like, yeah, by the time the Mind Flayer shows up, he just kind of gets killed easily. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how quickly they took him down. This, like, this big giant monster, they like that they were able to do that, I mean, we knew they were going to take him down, but, like, oh my, I have a complaint. Okay. Listen, I don't mean to nitpick, but, like, this one I couldn't overlook. And it wasn't until my second watch. I've seen the finale twice, and it was my second watch where I really noticed this. Nancy is shooting the Nancy is shooting the Mind Flayer. Keep in mind, this Mind Flayer is like 1,000 feet tall, practically indestructible. And you have the Demogorgons, right? You have the Demogorgons and Vecna, who bullets don't do anything to them. Bullets do not do anything to them. They don't hurt them. They don't, like, make them, like, flinch. Nothing. But when Nancy starts shooting at the Mind Flayer starts, like, growling and, like, attacking her. Like it kind of made it seem like the gun was doing something to it, which, like the gun was making it angry, which I get. Like, if someone's shooting at you, it'd make you angry, but, like, you would think like it wouldn't just chase Nancy because Nancy doesn't pose a threat. That gun doesn't pose a threat. Sarah said it might have stung a smidgen. I don't know. It probably felt like a little pinch. Not even. I don't know. That thing was huge. How did they get up to the cliff too? Yeah, I don't know. But like, yeah, exactly. Chosen Vader. Like the Mind Flayer is supposed to be a god. Like it's going after someone with a gun. Like, yeah, exactly. Like I get the fire stuff, but you know what? Even the fire though, even the fire, you know, they're spraying fire at it, but it's supposed to be this massive thing. And it's so massive, and this little fire is like getting it. Like, I don't know. Someone said the bullets tickled him. Sally said that. Wait, Normie said it lasted 9 minutes. Wow. You guys are funny. He was like, ow, hey, stop that. It only lasted 9 minutes. That's crazy. Yeah, the bullets tickled him. He's like, hey, I do not like being tickled. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know. That was something I thought of on my second watch. I was like, why is he reacting to Nancy shooting him? That shouldn't matter. Okay, but think how big we are to a mosquito. Oh, that's a good point, Sarah. That's a good point. And if a mosquito bites you, it hurts. That's a good point. Thanks, Sarah. You just unlocked everything. Bro got flashbacks from the Battle of Starcourt. Yeah. Wait, so was that the same thing? Was it just like a bigger version? I don't know. Like the thing that we saw in the finale, the Mind Flayer, that's the same thing, the same Mind Flayer we saw in season 3, right? Chapter 7 should have been called Ticklish Revenge. TBH, I think he was being really cocky. He was probably like, dude, really? I come out from my 2-year nap and this is what you do? Yeah. Same Mind Flayer, different form. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Personally, I prefer the Mind Flayer over Vecna at times. Like, and the Mind Flayer was cool. I don't know. I think like, yeah, I said it before, but Vecna, a lot of the dialogue, Max, it is time. It is time for your suffering to end. I don't know. He says the same stuff all the time. Just like, I don't know, too much. But yes, Kimmo, I am going to watch that Stranger Things animation on Netflix. Yes. I'm so excited. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna wrap up. Thank you all so much for joining me for this epic Stranger Things Season 5 live spoiler discussion. This was a lot of fun. The first live stream here on the Flip the Script YouTube channel. And of course, we have so much more to come. Stay tuned because tomorrow I'm actually recording a spoiler discussion of Stranger Things with 2 of my friends. And it's gonna be cool. One of them is a friend who's a big fan of Stranger Things. The other one's also a big fan of Stranger Things. She actually got to see the set of season 5. And she also, both of them I met through Cobra Kai. So they're not, one of them was actually in Cobra Kai as an extra. The other has a sister who was in Cobra Kai. So that's all I'll say for now. You know, but I'm really excited to talk to them. And she got to be on the set. Like, and so we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the season. And I'd be really curious to hear their thoughts. And I think you guys are going to enjoy that too. So very excited for you to see that. And yeah, we have a lot more stuff coming. I also, guys, you know, I love my parodies. I love filming parodies. There may or may not be a Stranger Things parody on its way. That's all I'll say. You know, and I'll definitely do more of that too. It is not Balin, but I do want to get Balin on here to do a discussion at some point. I know he loves Stranger Things, so I want to talk to Balin about maybe I gotta do something with Balin of The Boys, because The Boys season 5 is coming out. I love that show. I know he's a big fan of that show. So but yeah, we have some cool stuff coming out. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining me, for being here. This whole transition, this channel transition has been scary, you know. It's a big deal, you know. I've been Cobra Kai Kid for 7 years, and it's like to change the name and then make this new content. It's different, but I'm excited, and you guys have really like, it's really made me feel so much better that you guys are so on board for it and so supportive of it. You know, because I may be excited for it, but if everybody else was like, "No, Drew, don't do this," then I'd be like, "Oh man, like I don't know what to do." But the support has been so great. So I really appreciate it. And I'm excited. There's gonna be so much more content. And yeah, guys, comment below. Love you, Drew, no matter the name. But what is the ending line gonna be now? Sarah, why'd you Sarah? So I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about it. And you know, with Cobra Kai Kid, the very first video on Cobra Kai Kid, I said bonsai and I said Cobra Kai never dies. With this one, I have no idea. I have no clue. I need an opening line and I need an outro line. So if you guys have any ideas, don't comment them in the live chat since I'm going to be ending this, but comment them in the comment section below. Comment any ideas for an intro or an outro. Like, you know how I said, bonsai, I'm the Cobra Kai Kid. What should I say for flip the script? And what should my outro be? Like, I kind of want to do like, I'll see you next time. And remember to keep flipping the script. I don't really know. Not that, but something. You guys are creative. So I'm pretty sure you guys will come up with something good, but comment it in the comment section below so I can see it after the stream. But I love you all so much. And also comment below what other videos you want to see. What movies do you guys like? What TV shows do you like? What news do you want me to cover? What kind of videos do you want me to make? If you like Stranger Things, if you like whatever movie or whatever, do you want to see me do a parody, a discussion, a review? Should I bring people off the channel, or should I bring people on the channel and do more discussions with others? Do you want to see interviews? Like, let me know all your thoughts. I want to hear all of it. Keep flipping the script. Yeah, you know what? And I'll see you guys next time. But until then, keep flipping the script. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time. And until then, keep flipping the script. Hey, I like it. I like that one. All right, bye, guys. Have a good night.